Let's talk about Canada and Canada's future. We have a big social safety net here. What do you think is going to happen to Canada in this whole situation?
That's going to be an issue. We've talked, ever since we started working together back in 2004, I said, well, Canada has some challenges. We had a great run in the Canadian dollar. We had a great run in Canada in the first decade of the 2000s of the new century. And out of it, though, came a dependency on debt by households and corporations, amongst the worst in the world on both fronts. We now have, instead of having a very low public debt, we now have a higher public debt and higher taxes. All the tax reforms that were introduced by the Brian Mulroney government and further extended by the Jean Chrétien government have been reversed. Now we have higher taxes. We have an inefficient tax system. We haven't had the innovation that we had hoped for. Now the commodity cycle is disrupted. Part of China's thing now is to move away from imported energy because of the discord in the Middle East, because of the Americans getting in the way of things. So Canada has some big challenges, and I think we can resolve them. And basically this hit from COVID-19 has had me horribly panicked about what it was going to do to consumer and business finances. The government's policy actions so far seem to be holding things together, but we'll see. Just to extend the Warren Buffett analogy, what worries me about Canada is the tide went out. We knew people didn't have their bathing suits on, but I'm really worried that when the tide comes back in, there's going to be a lot of people floating face down in the water. And
grim image.
when this is over, like a lot, we saw all these surveys that said, "Oh, we're going to save more, we're going to repent," and
it's gotten worse.
And if I lose, my salary gets cut by $200 a week, I can't make ends meet, and all this has happened. So I'm worried.
So in terms of the consumer debt, ultimately, is it manageable, or as you say, does it wind up in tears inevitably?
In certain circumstances, which was the consensus forecast from the government, the Bank of Canada, all the private sector mainstream forecasters in Canada, everything was great unless something went wrong. So now something's gone wrong, and we'll see. I'm concerned. I don't know that we can work it out without a lot of blood and tears. Now, Canada can work it through. We have a government in place that's shown a willingness to throw some money at problems. The federal government was, prior to the COVID-19 crisis, pretty well positioned financially to help. The provinces, no. Some of them are probably going to need a bailout as part of the whole tears and mess. But one of the things that we've been talking about that may help Canada and help carry us through this is that commodity prices move in long cycles. And the down leg in commodity prices and all the misery from lower oil prices, we may be a lot closer to the end than the beginning. It may still be a couple of more years, but when that commodity cycle turns, that will certainly be a big benefit to Canada's economy.